Hey everyone, I wanted to quickly go over the new Monster Hunter Rise gameplay that we got for Nintendo Switch. This comes to us thanks to AsahiTV from Japan. They had a show back on Christmas Day, showcasing what I believe will be part of the demo build that we'll be getting later this month. Before we begin, I wanted to quickly give a shout out to TigerEye46 for giving me a heads up about this video. I simply had no idea they had a new gameplay clip, much less from a Japanese TV show. Alright, so if you actually recall the longsword gameplay that we got from Capcom back in November, they showcased Agnasam in the Shrine Ruins. Mostly they were focusing on moves and the first clip of actually fluid combat for any part of the game. So in this build that we're actually seeing today from AsahiTV, they got their hands on the same build that we got that same day. And I'm now convinced that this will be part of the demo build that we get later this month. That will include both Agnasam and Arceros, including Tetranodon is probably in the mix since that's another monster that they could include. But basically that's my ongoing theory for now. There's several things that I want you guys to focus on. First, we'll be seeing a shift from dusk to night to daytime all in one swoop, showing the day to night cycle. Then we're going to see the Palamute attacking while the hunter is still riding it. We've seen the Palamute getting ridden up until the point of attack. We've also seen the Palamute attack on its own, but we've never seen it while the hunter is still attacking it, and we're about to see it right now. We're also going to see a brand new turf war between Agnasam and Arceros. And of course, a monster transition from one area to another. The first gameplay clip that we're also going to see where the hunter faints, and what I believe is also the first gameplay glimpse of a monster limping away before they're killed. So right away we already saw the Palamute attacking Agnasam, and basically while the hunter is still riding it, he's able to attack it directly. The hunter does not get off, and the Palamute is able to get a couple of attacks, kind of like in a combo chain. We see Agnasam essentially attacking, and then what we're going to see here is that Agnasam turns into a shadowy ball of smoke as he transitions from one area to another. And this is actually something that we hadn't seen before, right there. He basically disappears and goes away. Usually what we've seen with monsters like Tetranodon, they basically go from one area to another as they go behind the scenes. But basically here, he just kind of disappears. And then later on in the clip, we actually get to see Agnasam disappear, fly up into the air, and kind of like the shadow go from right to left, kind of like old school Monster Hunter Generations, which is really exciting to see. This build I do believe will be part of the demo, basically where we get to see Agnasam, Arceros, and maybe even Tetranodon like I mentioned before. And basically, yeah, like the reason why these guys are showcasing this gameplay is because it's probably going to be part of the demo that we're going to be getting later this month. But essentially you see Agnasam getting much beat up a little bit, and we're going to see him fly away right here and essentially disappear. Then you're going to see the shadow go from right to left on the ground as they chase the shadow. Now this is something that we simply hadn't seen before. And then the hunter is eventually going to start chasing it, and we see the transition into the turf war between Agnasam and Arceros. This is something that we simply hadn't seen before. Arceros already had a turf war with Tetranodon, but this shows that there's actually multiple turf wars between monsters, which is exciting to see for sure. Does seem to be getting his butt kicked a little bit, and we also get to see that I believe at this point his carapace piece is broken, eventually his left wing gets broken, and then his right wing towards the end of the clip. So yeah, he gets pretty much beat up a little bit. That's why towards the end of the clip we'll get to see him getting beat up quite a bit because he's basically limping away. A lot of combat, just random attack, and then we get to see our first shot of the hunter fainting, which is something that we simply hadn't seen before. We see him now basically limping away, which is something that, you know, is a pretty clear-cut tell that he's ready to be killed. Arceros is not interested. He basically runs away. He wants nothing to do with it. And then we almost see them finish off the kill, but they don't quite do it. Apparently there's a timer going on. There's a lot of things in the HUD that we basically don't get to see all the details for the screen. But yeah, Agnasam is basically almost ready to be killed, and the hunt ends. So in this clip we got to see a lot of things. We see the dusk, night to day cycle transitions. We get to see the Palamute attacking as the hunter is riding it. We'll get to see a brand new turf war where Agnasam and Arceros were fighting. The transition from one area to another when they turn into a puff of smoke, and then they basically run into a new area as the shadow trespasses. The first gameplay clip of the hunter fainting, and of course the monster limping away towards the end. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If anyone else sees any more gameplay clips of any Japanese TV shows, please send them my way. I'm eating up all this content. I cannot wait for this game, and I'm super excited for it. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!